Hey folks, it's Michael Taylor,
Kathryn Smith-McGlynn.
and we're hosts of Theater Corner Green Room. And we're on a special field trip to Los Angeles, California. We're in the Ebony Repertory Theater. It is an amazing space, and we are here for the book signing and book talk of Wren T. Brown, the author of this brand new book here, The Family Business. How the hell you doing, brother?
Michael, I am doing so well. Kathryn, thank you both for having me. I'm overjoyed. I'm ecstatic about this night.
It is fantastic. It is incredible. You had a conversation in front of a huge audience with Leslie Odom.
Leslie Odom Jr. He's a joy to me. He's a magnificent artist, but more particularly, he's a magnificent human being. He wrote the afterword in the book, The Family Business.
So the reason we're here is to talk about this book.
Yes.
Tell us about this rich piece of work.
The family business is just that. 4 generations of one black family's artistic odyssey. My great-grandfather began this journey. He was born in 1872 in Thibodaux, Louisiana. And then he had 3 children. His youngest child, my grandfather, Lee Young Sr., he was the first black staff musician in the history of Hollywood. Columbia Pictures, 1946. He was Nat King Cole's drummer and musical director. He recorded with Fats Waller first in 1937. He was the drummer for Ethel Waters. And my great-grandfather could take a job as a musician on 20 different instruments. So he had music to give his children. And in his home, there was Papa Young's law. If you're going to live in my house, you're going to play music. And so that's that rung of the family. My grandmother maternal, my grandfather's, and that family, but this is the maternal line I'm speaking of. My maternal grandmother was a torch singer and cotton club dancer, Ruth Gibbons, born in Los Angeles in 1911. And then my father's side. I didn't get a chance to know my father's parents, but my father's father was the 5th black actor in Screen Actors Guild. He played the London Palladium in 1933 in the height of the Depression. He was on the first ever show at the Apollo Theater, Troy Brown Sr. from Memphis, Tennessee, and his wife, my grandmother, Bertha McElroy by birth, Bertha Brown, Mama Brown. She was a cotton club dancer, began her career in Philadelphia at the Standard Theater, and she was part of Irving C. Miller's Brown Skin Model Troupe.
Wow.
And then there was my father, my daddy, who eventuated himself to being a magnificent, most moving jazz musician. He was a jazz trumpeter, but Daddy started as a child actor. He was made his debut at Harlem's Alhambra Theater with the great Cab Calloway and made several pictures as a child, and then went on to make commercials throughout his life, but he was a jazz musician.
Now, this book is full of items that belong to your grandfather, his equity card, all of these things. So it's not only a book about your family, but this is Black history.
Yes, it's a visual and textual book. And this memorabilia and ephemera, to touch it and hold it, particularly the grandparents I didn't know, I feel like I'm with them. I feel like we're all on stage together. We're all working together, the 7 of us. And it moves me very, very deeply. I have to grab myself because it could cause me to weep sometimes when I get into the reverie surrounding the fact that these people are gone, but I've been a part of sustaining and promoting their legacy and our legacy as a family.
So this is really a gift
to me and to the world. Their journey. I never was discouraged at any point in my career because I felt that I was undergirded by all of them in my bloodstream. And they walked through the tall grass. And so I felt that I could do it in my now. I could grab hold of the best of who they were and to make myself an individual and very distinct. But that was my joy and my impetus, this family that came before me.
And so could you say just a couple of things about Troy? He had to perform in blackface and things like that. He did a lot of things so that you don't have to.
That's exactly right.
And could you talk about that a little bit? Because that's an important, you can't not see that in this book, the things that he had to go through as an entertainer when he was an entertainer.
Well, he had to pay what we would call real dues.
Right.
And he didn't know that he was not only paying dues for himself and his family, but he was paying dues for generations of us, not just in his bloodstream, who would come after him. In 1942, there was a quote he had in the newspaper where he talked about the pictures they want me to do are really not the pictures I want to do now. But he said, there is a bright day for the Negro in motion pictures. 7 years later, James Edwards in The Home of the Brave. 7 years later, Mr. Sidney Poitier in No Way Out, after he makes that comment. And so I'm a repository of that kind of spirit and wisdom in him, but he paid heavy, heavy, heavy dues And I certainly have tried to comport myself with the kind of integrity and dignity that encourages other young people in the arts.
Fantastic. So how can folks out there get their hands on this book?
Well, you can get this book from Kathryn. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, God, no, I'm not giving it up.
But you can get the book presently at thefamilybusinessbook.com. That's thefamilybusinessbook.com.
Thank you so much, Wren T. Brown, for coming on to Theater Corner Green Room. I appreciate you. Got to get back to all your guests.
Yes, but I'm so, Michael, you know that you're my brother, and I so appreciate you always. And to be a part of Theater Corner Green Room means the world to me. And Kathryn, it's a joy to sit with you as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you for this gift.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And thank you for joining us for another conversation on Theater Corner Green Room. And we'll see you at the theater.